Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Ram Trucks, engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena. Our goalies are brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Chicago, there's Corey Crawford, who blanked the Wings in Chicago. 2-0 this preseason, his only appearance, so he was perfect. He's going to go the distance here this evening. So will Jimmy Howard. That's the plan, a 2-0 record, playing the first two periods in victories at Pittsburgh and Boston. And we are underway. Jonathan Ericsson on defense with Nick Kronwall. As that pass went over Ericsson's stick, Abdelkader starting up front with Henrik Zetterberg and Pavel Datsyuk. Jonathan Toews starts up front for Chicago with Brandon Saad and Ben Smith. Kronwall in his own zone. Lead pass for Abdelkader, taken out of the play by Duncan Keith. I don't think Keith and Seabrook won't want to put on a good show for Mike Babcock and Ken Holland here. Not that they really need any introduction to them, having already won Olympic gold for them, but a lot of folks will be on display early on this season to prove to their respective countries that they have what it takes to play in the Olympics come mid-February. As both teams make changes here, approaching 1 minute gone in the opening period on this late Sunday afternoon, Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond, and Chris Osgood with you here from Joe Louis Arena, the second meeting of the preseason between these two. Chicago won the first 2-0, side of the net. Moving in was Brendan Smith, picked up here by Thomas Tatar, number 21 for Detroit. Puck is knocked away. It's LeBlanc, 14 for Chicago. It doesn't get out. 14 for the Red Wings was Gustav Nyquist. Played ahead by Jimmy Hayes as the Hawks will bring it into Red Wing territory. Going in wide with it. Knocked down on the play as Nyquist got in front of his check. That got a rise out of the crowd. That's LeBlanc back to the line. A shot and a save by Howard. And the rebound was handled. And the Red Wings able to move it back to center ice. Both teams changing again. That's Dylan Olsen. With a goal and a couple of points in the last preseason victory over the Washington Capitals. Back to get it, 44, Klaus Dahlback. What a strong preseason on the Hawk blue line, number 44. But the 7 who won the Cup with Chicago have all returned. So there's not a lot of room on that Hawk blue line to gain a spot. No harm in trying. Brandon Boley got it back to the line. Seabrook moves one over to Duncan Keith, former Norris Trophy winner in the Hawks Cup year before they won it last season back in 2010. As it's played ahead here for Samuelson. Had that shot blocked, it'll go over Seabrook's head. Riley Sheahan, number 15 for the Red Wings, up with Corey Emerton, number 25. Off to the far side goes Keith to nudge it ahead and out to center.
Brendan Smith with the puck here. He's improved defensively over the last course of the season, last season, and he's one of those guys the Red Wings are looking for to be a solid guy in the 5th or 6th spot for him for the rest of the season.
That puck is knocked up and out of play, so we'll get a stop in play, and there's Joel Quenneville, won his second Stanley Cup back of the Chicago bench.
Well, Joel's had quite a rocky road. He had some health problems a few years ago. He got over those, came back to coach again, and there's a lot of fire in Chicago about Joel, but he settled things down. They've got it going. They've won 2 Cups in 4 years, and he seems to be in a pretty comfortable role now with this Hawk organization.
That shot was saved by Crawford. To the line again, shot is blocked. It was a few years ago when Joel Quenneville was ill over at the World Championships, and the Red Wings' Mike Babcock took over and won the whole shooting match. Puck's knocked down by Michael Roosevelt, the veteran defenseman of the Hawks. That pass went behind Koska, defenseman playing forward for Chicago, number 6 of the Hawks. Picked up as a free agent, former Toronto Maple Leaf, where he played some forward there. I guess with no room on the Chicago blue line, you may as well try up front. It's the only chance you got to make a team that won a Stanley Cup and is returning its veteran core.
No, for sure, but Kenny, their guys in Rockford, they got a lot of great young players coming up as well in Ford. I mean, they're going to be good for a long time. There's not a lot of teams that the Red Wings would say they're going to miss in the Western Conference, but I would say Chicago would be one of them. If they can play them as least amount as possible, they wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You know, the bottom line, boys, with young players, just like a lot of these young guys for Detroit and Grand Rapids, is that when you can't make the big club, you want to play well in the minors, because somebody is going to be watching every night.
For sure, and Grand Rapids has a ton of those guys. Not only they're going to be here this year, but a lot of guys that are there right now that could be available halfway through the year.
Scouts are watching all these guys. A close play at the net as Abdelkader goes exactly where Pavel Datsyuk likes him to go. Got a lot of goals late in the season last year by driving the net, creating some havoc, getting in the goaltender's face and battling with people like Zdeno Chara the other night in Boston.
From that face-off, the Hawks have it. This will be icing.
There's a look at that supposed blended play that probably shouldn't have been called. Those two guys were racing for the puck, and they were pretty even at the top of the circle. We'll talk more about that as the game goes on and more in the preseason. But basically, in English, if the guys are close, and look at here, they're not far apart right there. That still could be a race for the puck. If there's a big difference in the guy going back to retrieve it and the other guy, they're going to call it right away like they did there. But that was pretty close in my book.
Kronwall has it. Eriksson on the other side. Tatar went back for him, but the puck was taken away, intercepted by Jimmy Hayes. Hayes is a big body. That's 6'6", 230 pounds, number 22 in white, who played for Jeff Blashill at the U.S. Under-18 team in the Czech Republic a number of years ago. Jeff Blashill, coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins. One of his former centermen, Joachim Anderson, couldn't pick it up. Crawford will leave it over there for Garrett Ross. Played into the corner as Nyquist battles in there with Klaus Dahlback. Nyquist won the battle momentarily before Drew LeBlanc came in. Number 14 with it. Hobey Baker winner with St. Cloud State this past season. Spent 5 years with St. Cloud State. Led the nation with 37 assists. Number 14 for the Hawks, Drew LeBlanc.
A lot of these kids on a look-see are going to get their last look-see here today and maybe tomorrow, but by Tuesday of next week, I think all these teams are pretty much ready to get down to their 25 to 23-man roster, and the look-sees will be over.
Here comes Emerton out of the corner. Sharp angle that was stopped by Crawford. And you could sort of tell it was preseason there when Corey Crawford made a nice little pass right in front of his own goal into the slot.
For sure, Ken. I think after winning the Stanley Cup, obviously he's confident coming into this season. He's showing already today. He's really square. He's aggressive in the net. I haven't seen him play the puck like that before, so obviously that's a carryover, but he played great last year in the playoffs. I know everybody said he's weak on the blocker, weak on the glove, and he ended up, in the end, he won the cup and game solid goaltending probably throughout the playoffs. I thought was maybe their best player the last 3 games against the Red Wings in that series.
Yeah, many thought he could have won the Conn Smythe Trophy and not Patrick Kane. Corey Crawford won his first cup this past June as the Hawks won their second in 4 seasons. Antti Niemi was their goaltender of record in 2010.
He proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
They were really doubting whether he could stand the pace or not, but he sure did.
Landon Ferraro, number 29 for the Red Wings. Got it into Luke Glendening. Right to the periphery of the crease. And that'll be held. An opportunity there for Louis-Marc Aubry, the big 6'4" center playing some wing tonight. Luke Glendening has the middle slot this evening. We're back in a moment.
Welcome back, everyone. There's Luke Glendening from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's a walk-on for Michigan. Became their captain. This guy is a perseveres. He's a hard worker and always proves everyone wrong. These are plays he made in Grand Rapids last year. He takes the puck to the net. He's a smaller player, but he was a running back in high school, and he knows how to take hits, and he comes out of the corner with the puck more times than not against guys that are twice his size now.
I know the coaching staff really likes the way that that this kid competes, and although he's going to probably be back in Grand Rapids, he's a guy that's showing him that he could be called up, and you're not going to be taking a back step when you bring him into the lineup to the big team here in Detroit.
He's on the radar, and that's an accomplishment after doing that after only 1 year pro. He's on the radar, and that's a credit to him.
What a playoff he had to get him on the radar, too. I mean, 24 games, he had 6 goals, 16 points, the highest scoring rookie in the American Hockey League playoffs. And Mike Babcock thinks this guy, I mean, he plays center, but he's a 3rd or 4th line winger in this league at any rate, don't you think, Chris?
And he's an obsessively hard worker. He's always the last guy on the ice. 1 game in the playoffs, he's beat on draws a lot. The next day he was taking draws nonstop by himself with just the assistant coach at the Fart in Grand Rapids. And I asked Jeff Blashill if I should go down and talk to him. He says, no, just leave him alone. He's an intense hard worker and he refuses to fail. He's one of those people.
You saw a lot of the Griffins on the way because we're working with the netminders along the line to the Calder Cup Championship. The Red Wings' future very bright with what the Griffins were able to do in winning the Prospects tourney up in Traverse City. As Brent Seabrook has it for Chicago. Jonathan Toews, their captain, who had an outstanding regular season last year when the Hawks led start to finish, carries in deep. Struggled a bit early on in the playoffs, but got it going. The former Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Toews pushes back Pavel Datsyuk, two of the league leaders in takeaways. No more persistent players on the puck than those two. Wide pass, Abdelkader, good save, Crawford. Oh, he was going stick side high.
I think I heard a little bit of iron there on the short side. Got a long bomb of a pass to Abdelkader, and he just wound up with time and ripped it. Let's see, nice play by Eriksson. Holy mackerel! Watch this baby. Oh yeah, off the bar, up into the netting.
Is that not where Pav beat Crawford the wrist shot in the playoffs last year? He seemed to be farther over, not off his angle as he was last year. He won the cup, and I'm seeing improvement and a better guy coming into this year, which doesn't bode well for a lot of teams in the West.
Here's
with a team in front of him.
Pav beats a few guys like that, Ozzy. That great wrist shot of his. He did it in Boston the other night, too. Holy mackerel.
The things he does are amazing.
Nyquist in front, Tatar scores!
Great feed from the back from Nyquist there. Nyquist has great vision, finds Tatar on the backside. It's a tough play for the goalie Crawford there. Looking over his left shoulder, puts it back the other direction, doesn't even have time to react. Tatar, who has a quick release, fires it high over the glove side.
Well, somebody didn't cover somebody in front of the net, so the goaltender's left out to dry here. See, both guys are looking at the back at the puck and not carrying the guy in front of the net. And you're right, he's looking over his shoulder like, where's the puck coming from? By the time he turns around, it's coming back at him. He's got no time. He can only hope it hits him.
That's all he could hope for there. As a goalie, you never want to look over that shoulder until you're for certain you see the guy there. And a little bit early there on Crawford's part, but something he's going to take from exhibition and learn from that and move on to the regular season.
Tatar's second preseason goal. As the Hawks look to get even, a nice save there off Marcus Kruger by Jimmy Howard. Another shot off the side of the goal, let go there by Brandon Bollig.
Solid save by Howie. He's so good down low, strong. He's one of the strongest goalies in the National Hockey League. Just getting, they try and bump him around the crease or try and get anything underneath him. It's virtually impossible. He's so strong at that.
To the far corner goes Bollig again. He has 2 goals in 3 preseason games. That says something, because in 43 NHL regular season games in his career, he doesn't have a point yet. Does have 1 goal in 9 playoff games, does Bollig. Given up inside the line is Samuelsson able to steal. Went back for Brendan Smith. His pass through the middle was knocked away by Koska. Koska was the one who was hit from behind by Teemu Pulkkinen. Red Wings fine Finnish prospect who got suspended for 4 preseason games, but Koska no worse for wear. Back in the lineup tonight. Puck came free and knocked away and back out to center ice. Chicago able to take over. Dylan Olsen. Olsen with it again. 28th overall pick in 09. Spent the past 3 seasons in Rockford. Probably the #1 defense prospect on the call-up coming, and Howard makes the save off his shot. Loose in front of it. The score off the rebound.
Hot potato.
Yeah, it seemed to come through a crowd there, and Howard caught it late, just hit his glove, bounced in front of him, created a scramble for the puck, and it's like rebounding. Just a shot through, hits Howard. Regular season, he catches that 100% of the time. Little scramble, bang, nice quick shot. Not much how he can do on the goal, but he'd love to have that initial shot in his glove and a face-off probably to his right side, Mick.
If he doesn't see that, Ozzy, coming through, it's pretty hard to suck up a rebound. I mean, sometimes they're hitting you, you don't see him. That shot might have been deflected, and that might answer why it bounced off him so hard.
I think he didn't catch on to it till late. He's a half a second behind. Just to me, an unrusty Jimmy Howard has it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
One of the best in the league we're looking at. For me, it's just exhibition season for him. He's getting his bearings, getting ready for that game on October 2nd.
Byron Froese gets the goal for Chicago. They've given it unassisted as of now. And Datsyuk put it in the middle to Zetterberg. Abdelkader in back of the net, forced there by Seabrook, as Seabrook and Keith out there against the Red Wings #1 unit. Seabrook able to get it out to the line, and Toews, the opposing centerman.
Well, Abdelkader is hounding the puck really hard. So you look for a big year from him, playing with Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg. Obviously an opportunity anybody in this league wouldn't want to slip by, and he's not going to let it slip by him.
Allen over Datsyuk's stick, so this will be icing, and the faceoff will come back into the Red Wing zone. I'll be at the Joe October 2nd for the historic home ice debut of the Wings in the Eastern Conference. All fans in attendance receive a 2013-14 Red Wings team wall calendar, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. For tickets, call 313-471-7575 now. Ticket executives are standing by. Howard will hold that. So we're in a 1-1 tie here on this first day of fall. On a beautiful day in downtown Detroit. Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Back live, Joe Louis Arena, 1-1, halfway through period number 1, and a little bit of clock watching for number 21, Thomas Tatar, who Ozzy is not going anywhere because he has to be protected to be sent down, and because of things like this, Red Wings think that he can play in this league even though he's a small guy.
Absolutely, Mick, but well earned. He played great when he was up last year. Then when he was in Grand Rapids, obviously the MVP of the playoffs, played fabulous, but he continues. He's got a quick release. He's a goal scorer from in tight, but not only does he score, he's a hard worker. He's going to reverse hit. He's going to get pucks out. He's going to do the dirty work for you. So he's one of those. He's more of a complete player than people give him credit for.
He's a small guy. You better be smart. You better be quick around the net, but those great hands certainly help. And he's going to be on the Red Wing team come October 2nd here in about 10 days.
And we have a penalty.
The dreaded hook is out again. Yeah. First one of the game of either team. Chicago will be shorthanded. Looks like.
That's always one of the most frequent calls in exhibition season, isn't it?
What's that?
The hooking calls are the most frequently called penalty in exhibition season.
They ease up on him. I'll be a happy camper, but it doesn't take much to get a hooking penalty in this league anymore. Hard to touch a guy, but hope it wasn't for that. But
it was for that.
My point.
Just a little Nick just stick a bit there, and he'll serve two for that.
Yeah.
Well, Garrett Ross gets his name called here anyway. He's from Dearborn Heights, and he grew up, the man who's on the box, he grew up a huge Red Wing fan.
He's on the box score.
He was a fan until he got drafted by Chicago, so his parents are here tonight. Amy and Jeff are in the crowd watching him, so
that's
got a lot of family and friends here tonight, yeah. One of his brothers is serving for us overseas. He's in Syria right now, brother Brian, so we wish him all the best. Even better, yep. Terrific. So the Red Wings, as a result of that penalty to Garrett Ross, go to the Bell Tire power play here in a 1-1 tie. Comes back to the line to Samuelsson, to Datsyuk. Kronwall at the left point. Datsyuk gives to Zetterberg. A return feed for number 13. Finds the seam to Samuelsson, who goes back to Kronwall. Look for a tip. He got it. Datsyuk just wide of the goal. Abdelkader to Samuelsson. A right-hand shot on that right point as Kronwall moves in, fanned on it, took a shot that Crawford saved. Abdelkader. Good one over there to Zetterberg. For Datsyuk, gives it back. Samuelsson waits. Draws coverage. Kronwall goes back to Samuelsson. Now right shot, left side, top of the circle. Crawford saw it, the rebound, Seabrook, and gets it off Kronwall out to center ice. Hawks trying to get a change here for their penalty-killing unit with a half-minute left in this Bell Tire power play.
Abdelkader creating havoc in front of Crawford. We're going to see a lot of that this season. Kind of taken after the retired Thomas Holmstrom. Abby's got a great opportunity this season. I think he's going to take full advantage of it in front of the net there, causing some havoc. And you can tell he's really causing a lot of trouble for Crawford right now.
Here's Tatar going back to Smith. Feeds off Nyquist. Shot was blocked. Smith moved up on it, but a good second effort from Ben Smith, no relation to Brendan. Gets it down the ice. In fact, 2 years ago, Brendan Smith was suspended 5 games for a preseason hit on Ben Smith at the United Center. For the last 2 preseasons, the Red Wings been suspended in some fashion for a hit on a Blackhawk. They'll meet twice during the regular season now, as the Red Wings will meet every Western Conference opponent home and away as the Hawks come in. Chance for Byron Froese, who has the goal in this game. And Howard stops it.
Well, when you want guys in a power play to get loose pucks and retrieve them after the puck doesn't end up in the net, this is what you got to do. Abdelkader's in front of the net, blocking off. Watch right here. Hold it there, guys. Look at this. Duncan Keith has got Zetterberg. Bang. Over goes Abdelkader. Loose puck. Tied up one guy. Get the puck back to the point. Go back to the front of the net. That's why Pavel Datsyuk loves this guy. He'll muck in the corners, go to the front of the net, go to the hard areas of the ice, and doesn't mind paying the price.
Off the backboards, Page on defense with Adam Almquist. Nathan Page, number 24. Almquist, number 53. Samuelson got a stick in there to knock it back to Page. High slot to Fraze. That was blocked. Riley Sheahan tries to dig it free. Comes back to Dylan Olsen to Fraze. Howard stopped it. Koska couldn't pick it up for Chicago. Corey Emerton got squeezed to the boards for the Red Wings. Koska digging forward for the Hawks. Almquist ties up his man as Pace is able to move one to Riley Sheahan. Product of the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame under Jeff Jackson. Hit put on Emerton by Olsen. He directs traffic here and defers to Drew LeBlanc. Jonathan Erickson got back on it. Stick lifted by Taves in front of the goal and just wide. Assad had the opportunity off a bit of a hook there.
Well, that was
Taves
more of a
made
hook
the play
than the other
happen.
one, but a nice recovery by the Red Wings to cover that up.
Datsyuk stealing that puck. Assad should know better than to keep control of that with Pavel Datsyuk right there. Zetterberg just missed on the short side. Datsyuk stealing it from Seabrook. Datsyuk back of the goal trying to get through the two Hawk veteran defenders. Erickson with that long reach got a stick in there and got it back with some help from Datsyuk, who went down. Puck still loose and comes back, and the Hawks bring a 2-on-1. As Taves is in, a shot and a save by Howard. Abdelkader at center as the Red Wings need a change. Here's Zetterberg. Looks rink wide. Finds Anderson. Zetterberg out of the corner in front of the goal. In that position in front of the net was Abdelkader. Here's Zetterberg with a high rising shot.
Berg after the first.
Smith.
We've been scrambling here.
Nyquist. The puck is batted out at center and a hand pass called. 4:38 to go in a 1-1 tie. First period. Preseason action on Fox Sports Detroit.
1-1 still, 4:38 to go in the first period here at the Joe. Hawks and Red Wings this afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit. Chris, we always talk about goaltenders on 2-on-1. Tell me, is it the shooter? You're going to play the shooter 100%?
Well, not 100%. I thought Nicholas Cromwell played that great. He not only took away the pass, he angled the guy off to the outside, giving Howard the opportunity to come out, cut down the angle, get square to the shooter. Taves didn't really have a lot to shoot at there.
Right.
And Cromwell had a lot to do with that. How he was square again, as always, and made a hard save look easy.
Generally speaking, though, you're expecting your defenseman to make sure that pass doesn't come across the front of the net, right?
He has 100%,
Yep.
and they played it perfect. And Howard trusts Cromwell, who's known for a long time, and they made a tough play look easy. They nullified it with ease.
Red Wings fail to get that puck out. Another point shot coming and a save by Howard. That was a hard blast from the point from Victor Spetberg.
He's not big enough, that guy.
He's 6'9", 235.
I'm telling you. I was down when they were warming up in the hallway before the game, and I thought, that guy must be a trainer. He can't be a player. He's too big.
He's taken over from Chara as number one.
Honest to God. Is he ever big?
We already said there's no room on that Hawks defense. There's certainly no room for him. Just getting out of the way of a hit there was Ferraro, and
I guess.
don't know if he fully did. He caught his knee just a little bit. I know his father Ray will be watching this one tonight saying you better be okay.
Well, I don't blame him for taking a second look at who the guy was that almost, it looked like, injured him seriously.
That's Marchenko, Red Wing defenseman, 47. Alexei Marchenko, boy, the Red Wings really like him too. Samuelson with a shot that went off the back of the leg of Brendan Smith. He's the Hawks' Dylan Olsen. Puck out to center, and Marchenko stood up and played back. Marchenko, the Russian defenseman, his first season in North America, overskates the puck there. Previously was in the Continental League. Gave it away. spinning back and a shot and they score. Oh, that's a tough one for the rookie there as Joachim Nordstrom makes it 2-1 Chicago.
Well, it's a funny goal, too. The puck was bouncing, and it's almost like it was a great opportunity for Nordstrom to fake it, but the puck bounced, and then Jimmy had committed himself, and then he's like a duck out of water. There's the mistake right there.
To me, it was a plethora of fan shots, Mickey. It was a fan pass by Marchenko.
Yeah, right.
Cut in front. He probably wanted to shoot it right off the start. Didn't. Got it back and stick on puck, and more or less he fanned on it and fluttered in. Howard doing a great job to come across, and then couldn't come across all the way.
Did get a piece of it, but...
And that's where you see rookie mistakes when you say it goes from bad to worse. That's a perfect example there. Just a little bit of the nerves, puck bouncing, you try to get rid of it.
Well, he looked up. That's what he did. He looked up to where he was passing the puck, and it moved on the ice, and then he fanned on it.
Yep.
Happens a lot.
And it'll happen again, I'm sure.
And even more at this time of the year.
Yep.
Happens all the time. You just got to keep playing.
That shot slithered wide of the goal off the attempt from Byron Frazee. Former Toledo Walleye for a short time. Tatar gets taken out of the play. Malcolm Anderson with some good hustle coming in. Anderson switching to number 18 from 63 this year. As it's chipped to center by Koska. Jonathan Eriksson across to Kronwall. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Zetterberg went for a pass. Keith was able to get in front of that. Point shot knocked in front off the top of the goal and in behind. Zetterberg able to grab that puck. Back for Eriksson, head up. Another attempted tip there by Zetterberg. Kronwall had Datsuk in behind. Walking the line was Eriksson. Near side and just jammed to center by Koska. And Eriksson his own zone. The Wings are 2-2 in the preseason. Both losses by 2-0 shutout here last night to Boston and at the United Center in Chicago. Red Wings will play 8 preseason games. The Hawks just 6. Chicago 2-1, winning their last game in a shootout at Washington. Taves, who had the shootout winner against the Capitals, gets it in behind the goal to Ben Smith. Checked there by Nyquist. Saad centering one. Penalty upcoming. It'll be to the Red Wings.
Boy. Inside a minute, pressure. No hook, but a slash, I guess.
Well, I think, Mick, since we've seen the ice tilt a bit, is when the Red Wings start to give the puck over a little bit more than they would like.
Yep.
Not only in the neutral zone, but in their own zone. I think I can count 4 to 5 now that have been directly giving chance to the net or ended up being penalties against the Red Wings. These turnovers are what's cost them.
Well, when you don't move the puck, when your defense isn't able to move the puck or doesn't or makes a mistake, like we've seen here in the last couple of minutes, you don't get any flow offensively at all, and usually you end up chasing the other team around, and it results here. Not in a goal, but a penalty, and now in a power play for the Hawks.
It could be youth and nerves.
Yeah.
A little nervous.
Right off that faceoff, good job by the Red Wings. So Pace will be on the back end for the Red Wings with Jonathan Eriksson, Joachim Anderson, and Luke Glendening up front. Hayes let it go back to the line to Olsen, who had some trouble with it. Following up on the play was Anderson, and he'll send Chicago back. As Crawford will tee it up there for Klaus Dahlback. Dahlback's had a strong preseason. LeBlanc, who gets knocked down. Back to Dahlback. Garrett Ross was trying to find the puck, but the Red Wings in a good outlet. And that'll do it as Pace will look at the clock, gets it down the ice. Shots are 9-8 Detroit. The score after 1 period of play is 2-1 for Chicago with 1:02 remaining on a carryover to Brendan Smith. And coming up in our Ram first intermission, Henrik Zetterberg will get to speak with yours truly, Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond, and his former teammate Chris Osgood. I'm sure Chris has some questions he'd like to ask Henrik, and highlights as well coming up during our Ram first intermission.
Well, his line mate, before we get to Captain Henrik, we'll go to his line mate, Justin Abdelkader, who is a permanent fixture right now with Zetterberg and Datsuk. They like it that way, although, as Ken mentioned Thursday night in Boston, that may not stay forever. There's talk about Danny Cleary maybe playing a little bit up there as well. This one he rattled off the crossbar, almost had himself a goal, but he showed, Chris, a lot better hands in the second half of the year than he did starting out as a youngster.
Well, he's a guy that actually has pretty good hands, Mick, from coming up from his days with Michigan State.
Yeah.
Scored some big goals for them. But over time, he came up in the playoffs early in his career. He played great, scoring some big goals for the Red Wings. But he's a guy that eventually, and in the end, is going to make a living in the crease.
All right, before I let Chris Osgood get at you, Henrik, what are your thoughts of that first period?
Well, I think we came out, had actually a good start. First 7-10 minutes they were played good until they got the equalizer. I think they took over a little bit and then.
How many games is good for you, Henrik, in the exhibition season? 3 or 4, and that's about it, and you're ready to go?
Yeah, probably will like to have one more here. If that's going to be against Toronto or some other team, I don't know.
Now, Henrik, they took about 8 inches off the back of the net. What difference does that make for an offensive guy like yourself who likes to make some quick, nifty passer behind the net?
Well, it's a lot more space back there, and makes it easier for us to kind of handle the puck and kind of make plays.
Henrik, thank you very much. All the best in the next 2 periods, my boy. We'll see you against Toronto. Thanks, Hank.
All right, thanks to Henrik Zetterberg for joining us. Highlights still to come in our first intermission. It's a 2-1 Hawk lead after Tatar had made it 1-0 for the Red Wings. Fraze and Nordstrom for Chicago. Back with more in a moment on Fox Sports Detroit.
Second period about to get underway, and in this game, if a Detroit player scores a hat trick, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Harvey's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Red Wings page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Come and get them, curly fries. The way that first period was played, Chris, there wasn't a whole lot of offensive opportunities. I thought scrambled eggs we had for breakfast, but there was a lot of stuff going on out there that represented probably an early exhibition game.
I think there's a lot more turnovers than what you're going to see when the regular season happens. I think the scoring chances were 5-5, shots were 9-8. There wasn't a lot of action around the net, but when there was some guys getting in front. Applicator, like in the regular season, we're going to see a lot of that from him. A little more sloppy than what we're probably going to see when the regular season starts, but it's the young guys that are getting into it, trying to put on a show, trying to get noticed. And now, after the nerves, maybe the second year, we're going to see a little bit more brand crisp hockey here.
It is amazing when players start to buckle down like Zetterberg, Datsyuk, and veterans, and young guys begin to go, oh my gosh, they pick it up a notch. The big difference between the American League for most of these guys in the NHL.
Second period is underway, and a continuation of the Brendan Smith penalty as the Hawks begin period number 2, up by a goal and on the power play. Pass for Jonathan Toews, too far for him. Brent Seabrook will knock it back in. They'll have to tag up, though, and clear out. It's one of the linesmen doing the collaring down there. Greg Dvorsky, Brad Lazarowicz on the lines, Greg Kimmerly, and local native Brian Pochmara, the referees. Duncan Keefe carries to center. Into the Red Wing zone. Pass for Toews. It went off Cronwall in behind the goal. Brandon Saad, number 20, goes back to the line here. Seabrook took it from Keefe. Toews back for Duncan Keefe. His shot. Off the back of the goal. Toews with it again. For Seabrook. Tipped in front of the goal. Loose puck. Oh, and it stayed out. Jimmy Howard. Oh, I know Chris Osgood must have loved that one. Here's Keefe as Brendan Smith's out of the box. Saw it in back of the goal to Toews. Hawks changing up their blue line, keep the puck in Red Wing territory. Ben Smith with it. He's taken to the end boards and given a shove. Toews, in fact, is knocked down. Brought back in here by Glendening as that went off the glass. Keefe. Back at center now, Almquist for Detroit. And we'll get a look at that last opportunity in the Red Wing zone on Jimmy Howard. He may have had some assistance there. Hawks came close but couldn't beat him while he was diving to try to stop it. Maybe got some help off the side of the goal. Zetterberg moving one. Abdelkader gives off and a shot by Pace sails high. Datsyuk following up on Zetterberg. Abdelkader able to keep it in, then it's knocked down at center. Sent ahead for Ross. Garrett Ross couldn't bust through. His pace will wheel one around to Abdelkader, who gets hit by Hayes. Pavel Datsyuk hooked a little bit, kept his balance. Red Wings changing their defense. Alexei Marchenko out there now along with Brendan Smith. And a good pass by Marchenko. And the shot by Nyquist off the glass.
That's a good sign after the giveaway at the end of the second for him to come out as a young player to bounce back and have a nice pass like that. And just came right back. He seems like he's forgotten about it.
That's offside at the blue line.
Well, Chicago had a very close call a moment ago. Nicholas Kronwall, they had saved a goal right there. Little wee reach of the stick. Brent Seabrook with more of a pass than a shot on that one. And watch this one here. Howard gets over there. I think he hit the back of the goalpost, but boy, he's pretty quick for a guy that's a pretty big goaltender, Chris.
Yeah, his number one attribute is his quickness with his feet side to side, but also his battle level. He's a hard worker and never gives up on pucks ever. Like there, maybe he gets a shot on net. Howard might have made the save anyways.
Knocked away for Kruger. Good defensive forward. Played a nice job in the center ice position for Chicago as that's offside. And speaking of Brendan Smith comes in to have some words. Nothing further should develop out of this. We're talking about the goaltenders and some of the changes this year, including the percentage of the length of the goal pads. And Jimmy Howard lost very little on his, Chris, because he wasn't one of the cheaters like many others. But some goaltenders has lost upwards of a couple inches off the top of the pads.
It's really for years that they've actually, this is the first time in years they've actually substantially done something and made a solid rule where they've shrunk guys' equipment. Most guys I've talked to say it's actually helped them having the smaller equipment. Gustafsson says that he's actually moving better, feels more athletic than he did before from when he had his bigger pads that maybe were too cumbersome. So we could see the exact opposite result as the league is looking for, and then what's going to happen from there.
And while we got a penalty coming up here to Chicago, Red Wings will go to a power play. So the shallower nets, they've tightened things up back there, taking about 8 inches off the back. Video review for high sticking penalties, mandatory visors for incoming players.
I love number 5. Give me a break.
Everybody's got
nothing else to worry about.
Uniform, no pun intended. No tucked-in jerseys. And an extra penalty.
No fun rule, Mick.
For removing a helmet before a fight, although players have been taking off one another's helmets just to get the offsetting minors, so they may revisit
Here,
that too.
Let me readjust your hat. You take mine off, I'll take yours off, and then we'll have a good fight. Isn't that beautiful? They make a rule, they'll find a way around it.
So the Red Wings here on a power play. Kronwall gives off to Zetterberg. Back for Kronwall to Zetterberg again. Into the slot, shoveled one over. Samuelson, Datsyuk shooting Crawford down and went right back into it.
What a beautiful redirect pass by Zetterberg, Nick. I mean, there's very few guys that can do that.
Yeah.
The vision him and Datsyuk have is incredible. Those two guys make everybody bet around and make this power play one of the most potent in the league, hopefully coming to this season.
Well, they struggled out of the gate last year with the power play. Datsyuk was doing a spinorama, thought he could surprise him, almost did. But the power play was really anemic early in the year. It got going in the second half and in the playoffs, but they really would like to get a much better start this year and get consistency with it right off the hop.
Henrik Zetterberg, top of the circle, looks down low to Datsyuk, back to Zetterberg, and just slithered wide of the goal. Poke past Samuelson, and Kronwall goes back. 4 minutes gone here in period number 2. Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond, Chris Osgood with you on Fox Sports Detroit.
Oh boy.
And a breakaway pass. And a save by Howard. Good stop there on Jakob Nordstrom, who's got one of the Chicago goals here. Abdelkader moves in, and that attempt by Chicago shorthanded. Zetterberg tipped in front of the net. Abdelkader looking for it, and a quick whistle there as Datsyuk had it in behind the goal.
Well, these guys will get most of the first shot at the power play, the Datsyuk-Zetterberg group. And Abdelkader right now. And Jimmy Howard keeps it a 2-1 hockey game right there. Not much creativity.
No, I think Howie took away the creativity, staying big, staying out on top of the blue. Didn't give him much to shoot at. I think he fanned on it a bit, but Howard out of the blue like Jim Bedard, his goaltending coach, tells him to do, and Howie with a big save to keep it at 2-1.
Brent Seabrook off that controlled face-off by Chicago. Able to kill off some important seconds. Adam Almquist made the move, but was checked immediately by Byron Froese. And the Red Wings will regroup here, man advantage. Shots 12-10 Detroit. Score favors Chicago by 1. Tatar, who has a Red Wing goal, goes back to the line here to Smith. And that was deflected, and Chicago sends it down the ice. Adam Almquist. Heisch ahead for Gustav Nyquist. Heisch with a shot tipped wide of the goal. Chicago back at full strength. Back to the line, outstretched stick by Heisch. For Nyquist to Joachim Andersen. Andersen's got it. A bouncing puck corralled there by Jonathan Ericsson. Over the stick of Andersen. Heisch backhands one that way to Nyquist in behind the net. Nyquist making a move to get some space, then ran into traffic. It's body to the boards as Heisch had moved up. But the Hawks, Kruger had nowhere to go. Ran out of real estate as Thomas Tatar stepped into him.
Nonetheless, that was a good shift, Ken. Some nice cycling that kept it down low, that line. Playing well together. Should take it in a little more. Put it in the goaltender's feet, create some havoc in front of the net. Might get a good bounce and might get a goal out of it.
Jonathan Ericsson has it shoveled past him by Jonathan Toews. Toews in back of the goal overskated as Samuelsson was back in defensive posture to help. Toews with it again. Toews out there with Ben Smith. Came loose into the slot. Corey Emerton to help. For Riley Sheahan. Back for Emerton. Emerton, who really worked in the offseason to put on some weight and some muscle. Sheahan, his big body, driving the goal. Puck is knocked aside. Back to the line. Marchenko in front of the goal, and Sheahan couldn't pick it up. Marchenko at the line. As the Hawks able to clear it to center. Puck is knocked away. Good positioning by Samuelsson to negate a Chicago attempt on the Red Wing goal. Corey Emerton will get it deep. Sheahan will peel off on a change as Emerton goes in to get it. Emerton will start the season with the Red Wings in the absence of Darren Helm to begin the campaign. Groin problems. As Jimmy Howard will gobble that one up into the chest protector as the sticks come up. Ross into it along with Brendan Smith. Linesman will step in.
Too. Got a penalty, somebody in that mess. And we'll figure that out when we come back. 12:46 to go in period number 2. You're watching Red Wings hockey, presented by Bell Tire.
And welcome back with the Blackhawks leading the Red Wings 2-1 here. Jonathan Ericsson, it's well documented, the last draft pick in the draft one year. Here he is making some great passes. He has great vision for a big player, not only relying on his size, but he has good hands. He has a very, very hard shot, but he's a smart player, making good play after play here, good passes, good stretch passes. Zetterberg allowing them the Red Wings to get on the offense. A good look there, skipped over his stick. The ice doesn't look too good here tonight, Nick, and Ericsson's doing his best to keep that thing down.
Go ahead, Kenny. I'll get back. I got something. Well, here's almost an icing. No, they're not going to. Last year, with Brad Stewart moving on, Ericsson and Kronwall played against the other team's best players, their best line almost every shift. And if anybody made strides better than that, I don't know who it was. Ericsson had a really, really good year.
Red Wings on a Bell Tire power play here as it comes back to the line. Kronwall with Samuelsson on the back end. Abdelkader in front, flanked by Datsuk and Zetterberg. Samuelsson with a shot blocked, and yeah, that'll hurt.
Ouch.
Getting in front of that was Joachim Nordstrom, who's been in the middle of things.
Has he got a broken skate or a broken ankle? He can hardly stand up. Got to get off. Oh my God.
Well, now he seems to be skating better than you wouldn't think it's a skate, but I wonder if he had the skate guards on, Mick.
No, I was just thinking the same thing. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to block shots, for goodness sake, in this league, wear protection.
Into the middle to Abdelkader off the Datsuk pass. Brandon Saad for Chicago up there along with Ben Smith. I would think under John Tortorella, all the Vancouver Canucks better be wearing it. the way that he wants his team blocking shots. I saw Drew Miller, when he had the busted thumb, and he's now got new padding on his gloves. I don't know the way the Rangers played. They're all wearing the style of glove that Drew Miller is wearing this year, all for extra protection, just for blocking shots.
Yeah.
That's what the Rangers were doing last year, so the Canucks best get ready for that.
I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know.
I always said, Mick, when I played, if I got hit by a puck and it hurt somewhere, I put a pad there.
I think so.
That was the #1 rule.
How do you feel about guys blocking shots? It's not
I
always
loved
the best
it.
thing. Did you?
I loved it. The guys get in front, they're putting an effort. Even when the guys put their sticks in, if it happens to hit their stick and goes in, there's a heck of a lot of better chance of that not being a goal and just letting the guy take a free shot or wheel in.
Good effort here as the Hawks are back at full strength. Nyquist has it. Pass back, high slot, and off the side of the goal. Almquist had moved in. He's got a couple of power play goals already. Almquist with it and a shot, and that one was blocked again.
Great block there.
Waited a little long on that one. Little slap shot. He's a good-looking young defenseman.
Almquist?
Yeah.
Played very well last year in Grand Rapids. He's like a young Rafalski. Quarterbacks, he makes some great passes from back there behind the net, and usually it's tape to tape. He's got to learn with a smaller frame and a little smaller body not to take the huge hits, though, Mick, that are going to put him out.
Right.
Welcome Anderson. Back of the net to Landon Ferraro. Now the Hawks will bring it to center, just past the halfway point in this game, but they couldn't get in. Stopped by Eriksson, on to Nyquist. Hawks coming back. Jimmy Hayes, the big winger and sometimes center, sent one over, and number 43, Svedberg, got it in, but the Red Wings right back out, tipped ahead by Ferraro, moving on to Glendening. Glendening staying with it on the near side, but got checked there by Svedberg. Boy, between Svedberg, who's 6'9", and Jimmy Hayes out there, who's 6'6", some big Hawks. Inside the line turn there and given away. As that pass failed to click from Louis-Marc Aubry. Number 32 in red for the Red Wings. He's 6'4". Datsuk played it back to the middle. Applicator couldn't pick up the pass off a leg, and Taves for Brandon Saad. Back for Taves behind him. Perfect position. Datsuk, Zetterberg, here they come. Zetterberg on the wing, backhand in front. Saved by Crawford. Keith in back of the goal. Zetterberg staying with it. Trying to get it away from Duncan Keith, who got some support there. And the Hawks able to get it to neutral ice. Marchenko for Detroit.
Crawford was playing there like he had a dinner set up for himself back in Chicago tonight, not freezing that puck.
Koska taken to the boards by Emerton. Samuelson getting one ahead for Riley Sheahan, number 15. Stutter step couldn't get past. And Sheahan will keep his number 15. Koska in. Won't be going to Danny Cleary after all. And we'll stay at 71 this season. That's an update from our last game we did, Mick. Things change by the day.
Yeah.
Daniel Alfredson will
They don't look bad.
keep number 11. Cleary, no, 71 looked good.
Yeah.
And he scored a goal, so that's reason to keep with it. Eriksson in his own zone. So Sheahan, who will start the year in Grand Rapids, but could see some time, and injuries always take place during the season. This will be icing without the player touching with this hybrid icing, so the faceoff will come back in the Detroit zone as you look at Riley Sheahan right there.
Well, no update on, oh my God, that's Nordstrom took that puck off the left inside of his ankle. Get up 3 times and fell down twice. Finally get up and stayed up and get off the ice. Boy. Inside of the ankle bone. Forget it. I'm not blocking that.
Hawks, Dylan Olsen. On a defense pairing with Dahlbeck. Tipped through by Nordstrom. Played for Tatar, who has that good speed. Tatar goes wide. Anderson, Tatar, and Nyquist. Familiarity from Grand Rapids. And Nyquist and Anderson up here as well. Great work in the playoffs and against these Hawks. Bruner was a part of that too. He's moved on to the tryout with New Jersey. Nyquist with a shot and a save. Loose puck, Marchenko safely in deep to Joachim Anderson. Back to the line, Brendan Smith skate the stick. Played one back for Anderson. To the near side to Nyquist, feathered one through to Smith. Crossing up there with Marchenko. To Anderson. He was checked as Kruger stayed with him. And Kruger's away. Trying to get back in defensive posture is Nyquist, and he did, and a save, and a kick aside by Nyquist. Both teams in the midst of changing. Nyquist carries in, passes off the change to Ferraro. Ferraro with another whack at it, and a save made by Crawford. Hayes for the Hawks. The puck's knocked down at center. Chicago will shoot it back in. Hayes will go after it along with Aubrey. Garrett Ross for Hayes back of the net, but it's Adam Almquist with it. Almquist left one in behind the goal. Almquist, a former 7th round pick. Second last pick in the draft by the Red Wings in his draft year of 09. That puck is into the Red Wing bench. With 5:27 to go in period 2. 2-1 Hawks on Fox Sports Detroit.
2-1 it remains. Chicago on top of the Red Wings here. 5:27 to go. And as we turn the clock back a few months, the Red Wings gave the Chicago Blackhawks the scare of their life. And I think they'll tell you after winning the Stanley Cup that the Red Wings came as close to beating them, Chris, as anybody did. They really had them on the rope.
For sure, for a team that was supposedly rebuilding, all the young players playing, getting valuable experience, taking Chicago to the brink. And to me, Mick, Detroit wins Game 7, possibly your Cup winner last year.
No kidding. Yeah.
Chicago led the NHL from start to finish last season. Remember the 24 games without a regulation loss? As Datsuk tried to bank one in off Crawford.
They had an unbelievable run last year to get it going. It's every day with another game and another win.
Well, remember
the season.
The 24 games out of regulation loss, all but for a puck over the glass here. Maybe would have ended a little bit earlier than it did. But second Cup in 4 years, beating Boston in 6 to win it. Did Joel Quenneville's group. Series wins over Minnesota in 5, Red Wings in 7, as we showed you. LA in 5 on their path to glory. And Brent Seabrook, 2 overtime winners in the playoffs, Game 7 against the Red Wings, and then in Game 4 in the final against Boston. So Seabrook was key. And maybe the biggest key, remember when Seabrook went to Jonathan Taves in the penalty box and said, hey, we need you, guy.
Yeah, he went ballistic here in Detroit. He went to the box 3 straight times in a row. He really lost it.
Taves did.
Yeah, Taves did. And Seabrook kind of got him settled down, and from there they went. But here we got Datsuk in the penalty box holding, I think they called it. So Chicago
doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
For 4 consecutive Lady Bings. Almost 6 to 09 for Pavel Datsuk as most gentlemanly player. Luke Glendening will head to the bench after shoveling that one into Hawk territory. Joachim Anderson up on the forecheck. So Corey Emerton comes over the boards, joined by Landon Ferraro. Ferraro did a great job, Chris, didn't he, in Grand Rapids killing penalties.
Yeah, for sure he did. He worked on his draws all year as well. He's great penalty. He has a lot of speed, a great shot. He loves to go high glove, but he's a guy in the future to look at. He might be called up a couple times this year just for a look-see, give him a little confidence, send him back to Grand Rapids under the tutoring of Jeff Blashill. But one of those guys that one day I could see him in a Red Wings uniform making a difference in that penalty kill.
In his second year in Grand Rapids for Ferraro last year, 24 goals, led the Griffins. Third in points with 47.
Had a great playoff, just like a lot of those young kids down there. And when you see the competition at training camp, there's no experience like getting an opportunity to play in must-win games and bounce-back games like they did last year.
Cleared by Erickson off a body. And you know if Ferraro doesn't compete night in and night out and his dad's watching, he's going to hear about it.
Well, he has to. He has to, and he does. And the only concern for me is his injuries. He's a little injury-prone the last couple of seasons, but man, he competes and he's there every night, 100% on.
Or his stepmom too, and Cami Granato. Good hockey bloodlines.
Those are very, very good bloodlines.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with that.
Knocks to center with time winding down in the Datsuk penalty. LeBlanc went off Marchenko's stick, up and out of play. Red Wings back at full strength, and we'll be back in a moment.
Go east, young man. They said go west, but we're going east. And Chris Osgood, you have been in the east a short time with the Islanders. Your thoughts on the Red Wings going over there?
The biggest difference for me going from Detroit to the Islanders was travel. It's crazy hard in the west and crazy easy in the east.
Yeah.
Home by midnight in your own bed, no matter where you play.
A lot of bus trips, right? Train and bus.
Tons of bus trips.
Yeah.
4 of our teams in our division were bus trips. Also, never out of your time zone until February of that year. In Detroit, you're out of your time zone at least once a week, maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
But to me, those teams right there, there's not one of them that are going to say they're happy the Red Wings are in their division.
They're not going to be happy about it?
Not going to be happy.
Well, a lot of people are wondering how the Red Wings are going to adapt to the East, and I'm wondering how the East is going to adapt to the Red Wings.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's the exact opposite, Nick.
Yeah.
I think that you look at that division and those teams, if they could switch Detroit for somebody else to a team, they would.
Yeah, right.
Maybe have a similar puck possession type team with the Penguins on the other side.
Yeah.
Whom you'll meet 3 times. Those teams over there 4 or 5 times within division, and then 1-1 with the Western Conference, home and away, everybody. So in theory, then the Red Wings are only out of their time zone 14 times this season. 14 teams on the other side,
which is probably at least twice as less as what it was prior to that.
Oh God, yeah. We
Easily.
did
30 plus.
8 trips to the West Coast in the last 8 weeks of the season with Anaheim as well.
Saved by Howard and a close-in try by Kruger. And the fans, the biggest beneficiaries with the earlier start times, for the most part, for us.
And I think, Kenny, going into the playoffs, you're going to see some exciting matchups this year. Something different, something refreshing, but there's going to be some great, there'll be original 6 matchups right off the hopper in the playoffs, which are going to be great series.
Wouldn't it be something if you ever had Detroit and Ottawa with the whole Alfredson angle meeting in the playoffs? Remember, divisional playoffs, and the top 3 teams in each division make the playoffs in the next 2 wild card as that puck is up and out of play.
To follow that up, now you're saying 14 times out of the time zone, 14 games, right?
Right, because of the 14 on the other side in the West.
And the thing about that, it'll get cut down because you go to the West Coast and play 3 or 4 games at one time, so you're only really out 1.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So
in terms of start times, yes.
Exactly. When you put it all together, huge difference for wear and tear on the body for Red Wing players and Red Wing fans not having to stay up and watch the game.
Right.
And I think the biggest difference will be in the playoffs, and instead of playing a team like Anaheim and playing, and we all know what it's like, and flying back, getting in at 5 in the morning and having to play a game the next day or the day after that is tough. Now you're going to hopefully be playing teams like Toronto, Montreal in your own time zones back and forth, and the excitement level is going to be an all-time high for those series.
Sure will. That's because the first 2 rounds of the playoffs from now on will be within your own division. And
but
then
again,
they reseed.
depending on the wild card teams, a team from the Metropolitan Division could come over to the Atlantic, or the Red Wings could wind up over in that division too.
So in a sense,
you do stay there too.
You could be. It's within the conference, I guess, but yeah,
pretty much division for the most part. Yeah.
You could be playing the Rangers in the first round. Yes. So Pittsburgh in the first round. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be exciting. Here comes Datsuk. Speaking of exciting. Takes a peek and just out of the reach of Kronwall. But Datsuk hustling back, and he's first on it, and there's going to be a penalty to Detroit. I think interference to Kronwall.
Well, an errant pass set that up. Pavel Datsuk, who was looking to hit somebody coming through the deep slot area, missed Kronwall, and then to try to make up for it, he threw a hook or some sort of act like that and got caught with 44 seconds to go. There's a miss, and you see him coming back in here. Interference, I guess they'll probably call it. And there was some body contact, so frustrated is Kronwall, but nonetheless, he'll set it down, he hopes, for 2 minutes. Three more games for the Red Wings left here in this exhibition season. Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. We'll have it for you here on Fox Sports Detroit. And then Toronto on Saturday and Friday, home and home. And that'll be it until October 2nd. The season opens against Buffalo.
Buffalo will be in here for the opener, and the network will have that game. We'll be with you from Carolina and Boston back-to-back on the road to start our coverage on Fox Sports Detroit. Wednesday's game will be on Fox Sports Detroit Plus.
7:30
against Pittsburgh. Yeah,
game
on
starts.
Plus. Yep. 15 seconds to go in period number 2. Long pass went astray, allowing Eriksson to send the Hawks back. So, period number 2 will come to its conclusion, the same as period number 1 did, with the Hawks leading 2-1. Thomas Tatar has the only goal for the Red Wings, and we'll get a chance to speak with him. We'll hear from Red Wings Executive Vice President and General Manager Ken Holland on what is the Red Wings way, and that's what many speak of around the National Hockey League. And Mike Babcock, a conversation there with Corey Emerton and his thoughts on 2 periods in the books.
Yeah, well, a lot of teaching going on here by Mike Babcock and a lot of these young guys, and even though Emerton's been around a little bit, he's still a young guy learning every day. Couple of goals short of moving on last year, Chris, and the additions of Stephen Weiss and Daniel Alfredson, they hope are going to fill that void, extra goal scoring.
2 huge pickups in the offseason. Probably surprised a lot of other teams in the National Hockey League. These 2 guys, they should be able to get that extra goal, the extra big goal the Red Wings need to put them over that cusp and win, get themselves to the 3rd round. There's Weiss, who probably wants a little, he got a little taste of the playoffs 2 years ago in Florida, probably wants more. Coming to Detroit with a team with more tradition than Florida and a team maybe with a better chance to win.
Well, there's Thomas Tatar, kind enough to join us after 2 periods of play. Thomas Tatar with the lone goal in this game. And I heard you say in the past, Thomas, at your height and weight, you patterned your game after Marty St. Louis a little bit. Quick out there, and tell me about that.
Well, I'm trying to be quick in ozone so I can do some damage out there. But, I mean, I'm trying. Martin is probably like one of the best players in NHL, so be like him. It's a long way, you know, so I have to work hard and try to become a better player.
Thomas, you had a great call-up last year at the Red Wings, but then you went back to Grand Rapids, had an unbelievable playoff, winning the MVP. Are you using that to kind of bounce into this season with confidence, and how are you using that? How are you taking it into this year?
Well, for sure, winning the Calder Cup down in Grand Rapids was a great feeling, and I mean the MVP was just like, you know, it was just the award, and but I was really happy I won it, and it's obviously it gave me more confidence to play. But I mean, the drum when I was up in Detroit was good, and I was glad I get the chance to play here.
Thomas, we are glad we get the chance to watch you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Bye.
Thomas Tatar with the Red Wing goal. The Red Wings, after 2, trail Chicago by a count of 2-1. And still to come in our second intermission, we'll get the thoughts on the Red Wings way from GM Ken Holland. We're back in a moment.
To this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Detroit Red Wings is expressly prohibited.
Both goaltenders going the distance here tonight. Jimmy Howard had played the first 2 periods of his previous starts, got 3rd periods off, won them both. Red Wings will begin period number 3 in the box. Nick Kronwall in there for another 1:15, at least he hopes. But Chicago won't strike on a power play to take a 2-goal lead. So Smith and Eriksson will start on the back end. Malcolm Anderson will come to center against that man, the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, Jonathan Toews, 2nd cup in 4 years. Playing in his 2nd preseason game. Toews won that draw back, and Seabrook and Keith on the back end for Chicago. Smith and Saad are flanking Toews for the Hawks on the power play. Brought in by Saad. Seabrook joining. Pass to him, just missed. Kicked back by Toews. Brent Seabrook, right point. Malcolm Anderson will try the other way, and then he'll work and get it down the ice. That's another key tandem for Chicago when you got a nice righty-lefty combination in Seabrook and Keith. Seabrook, the right-handed shooter. Keith, the lefty. Ben Smith.
Right now, those righties, I think, are at a premium.
Aren't they?
It goes in cycles at times. Where you had Chelios here, we had Konstantinov here, you had Rafalski here. 3 guys that come to mind right away, but we haven't had a lot of right-handed. Larry Murphy for a bit. It's been really far and few between.
Yeah.
We've had right-handed shooting defensemen, and that means somebody's playing their offside more than not.
And a guy like Brad Stewart loved to play his offside.
Right, exactly.
reason.
But it
Oh,
makes
hard.
it tough, especially on the offensive zone. You're picking a puck off the boards and the back end.
Red Wings don't get that puck out as Cronwall's out of the box. Just got over to Roosevelt, who dished it off. Howard had the paddle down to block it. Roosevelt will keep it in. Red Wings back at full strength, but Chicago controlling here. Saved by Howard and toe stopper. Off the Victor Svedberg opportunity. No shots in the last 2 Chicago power plays in this game.
Cronwall's playing left wing. I don't think he's played a lot of that in his career.
Oh, that's what preseason is all
out of the
about.
penalty box.
Zetterberg will turn back. Marchenko. Almquist, pass sent through.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Let's get our signals right here, boys. Somebody crossed him up. They said no because the Chicago defenseman made a move on Abdelkader, and that should have been let go.
They're discussing it right now.
Yeah.
Applicator's discussing it with the referee
Well,
right
it's
now.
preseason for those guys too, I guess. But
Everybody's working out the kinks.
see right there where the Chicago player, he makes a move on Detroit, Abdelkader, when he could have and should have played the puck, and they say, you know what? Well, that goes. That's not going to be called, but they did call it. So
Off the face-off, a chance now for Chicago. Well, if that results in icing, Garrett Ross had the opportunity.
that's exactly right. It could have ended up in the back of the net on a call that was, incorrect.
No icing there. They say tip through. Oh, scores! Quick shot. And in front of family and friends, Garrett Ross, the Dearborn Heights, Michigan native who grew up a Red Wings fan, playing in his first preseason game, gets his first preseason goal.
Well, this is really weird because it looked like Jimmy was caught.
Well, it starts with
happened
the
here?
miscommunication between
Yeah.
Smith and Howard.
It was turned over quickly.
It was turned over quickly.
Yeah.
There was a pass to their defenseman who missed it, and a quick just spin-around shot. Probably didn't even look at the net, Mick.
No.
More luck than anything, but a bad turnover, nonetheless.
The thing is, when Howard goes behind the net like that, he's got the long route to come back out in front and then way over to the short side where the puck ended up. And if the kid doesn't shoot the puck that quickly, of course it doesn't go in. But
To me,
wrong place, wrong time.
To me, that starts and finishes with communication. It looked like there was probably
goalie
none
and
there
defenseman.
between Smith and Howard, not knowing quite what to do. And like we've talked about all night, that's another instance, getting the kinks out, discuss that after, make sure it doesn't happen, it really counts.
Yeah.
Well, Garrett Ross got that one with a bit of a break, shot it quickly, did score 44 goals at 46 assists playing with Saginaw in junior hockey, so he can put up some offensive numbers for sure. He'll bide his time for a while before he'll make the Chicago squad.
Chicago's actually made a few picks from Saginaw. Brennan Saad also was a great player in Saginaw. They picked out of there. He actually injured his shoulder that year, and they picked him up later in the draft, and it turned out obviously being a great pick. And Ross, another great goal scorer for the Saginaw Spirit. Once again, they must have a lot of scouts there in Saginaw watching them play.
Brother Troy is here tonight along with his parents Amy and Jeff to see him play. Brad Mills sent it toward the goal. Jimmy Howard, a little stick check there.
It's a great save by Howie.
Mike Tosca was up there looking for the score. They threw it to the front of the net. And the opportunist on that one was Byron Frazee, who opened the scoring in this game. The former Toledo Walleye. And all of a sudden, the Hawks strike for 2 quick goals.
Well, this game is, exhibition game or not, is getting a little bit too nonchalant, I'm sure, for Mike Babcock's liking. Bang, bang, play again, and again, you got a white jersey that's got better position than a red jersey, and the puck ends up in the back of the net.
Nick, you're exactly right. Just probably too soft of a play in your own zone behind your own net. You got to make hard plays there. Another giveaway and in front of Bang Bang. Howard having no chance.
Within a minute, 56 seconds of it. Back to back, and by Tuesday, and here comes Mrazek. Yeah, Mike Babcock saying, you know what, Howie, you're out of there, not because you're bad, but because
and they also might
you're
have
being hung out.
coming. It's Jared Coro
coming in. My mistake.
Jared Coro, who was with Northern Michigan University Wildcats and put up some really good numbers. Big netminder too at 6'5". Boy, he takes up a lot of space.
The good thing about him is he doesn't rely on his size. He's very athletic. He's not afraid to be aggressive and get out. Peke Rene is his favorite goalie. And if he ends up like him, the Red Wings will be very happy.
No kid. So Jared Coro takes over for Jimmy Howard, who was scheduled to go the distance, but Frank Babcock says, come on guys, let's go, let's help out our netminder.
He's reading the tea leaves, the coach isn't saying, you know what, I'm getting him out of there. He's not getting any help. We're really sloppy, and it's not going to be a very good night. Already hasn't been, and it could get worse. So let's get the kid in there, give him a little work, and we'll save Howie maybe for Pittsburgh on Wednesday night.
And the first 3 Chicago goals were unassisted. Seabrook and Koska assisting on the Fraze goal, his second of the night. So Jared Coro takes over, Perth, Ontario native.
Crawford saw that. He said, we gotta get home for last call. I'm going to come out and play this. It won't be an icing.
He's barely covered the puck all night, has he, man? He's been shoveling it out nonstop. It looks like an exhibition. It looks like a scrimmage up in Traverse City right now.
As soon as the goaltender comes out to play the puck, it nullifies an icing. He said, I don't want this to stop. We got to get this thing over.
To me, going back to Howard coming out, to me, he looked good. His lateral movement was good. He was big. He was out of the blue all night. He was aggressive. Nights like this happen. None of the goals you can really fault him on at all whatsoever. And it's all positive. He looks good. He comes in. Jared gets to go in, gets an opportunity to get a little more NHL time in, give himself some confidence going into Grand Rapids this year.
Speaking of goaltending, has this organization ever had the depth at that position before that they've got now with all these young guys?
Well, it was probably the scouting the last 2 years.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure it was. They have a lot of goalies now. Jake Patterson.
And you were scouting them, weren't you?
I was scouting them. You're darn right about that, Mick.
Jake Patterson's a favorite for Canadian World Junior
Plays
team, right?
the Saginaw Spirit. We have Jared Coro, very, very good prospect. Peter Mrazek, who could have been the MVP besides Tatar last year in the playoffs. Big game goalie who just wins games.
Yeah.
You have Thomas McCollum. Obviously, he's been here 5 years, but he might be a late bloomer. A lot of guys have been late bloomers. You never know. So I think stack that goalies, and then under the great goalie coach, Jim Bedard, who's always around these guys and gives them great insight all the time.
And Thomas McCollum had a very good camp up in Traverse City.
Everybody's not on the same timeline, and he definitely isn't. And he'll be the first to say, but don't ever count him out, though. He's a battler.
I was just reminded that there is no last call in Chicago.
You were just reminded?
Yeah.
I figured
somebody told me.
Oh, someone told you.
If anybody in this box would know that, Mick, it's you.
Right on. The Hawks with a 3-goal lead here in the third period. Marchenko for his countryman, Pavel Datsyuk. Finally has someone to speak to in his own language. With Marchenko on board, at least for the preseason for Pavel.
I like Marchenko's moxie. Since the giveaways look good.
Yeah.
He's kind of brushed to the side and just played that. So that's another positive that you look at coming out of this instead of looking at the negative with the giveaway. He's been real good since that.
Nyquist gets stopped inside the line. And the Hawks will punch it out to center when off Marchenko. The Hawks, Brad Mills played it in, and Brendan Smith with a long stretch pass for Tatar. It was behind Anderson, and back come the Hawks the other way. Byron Fraze looking for the hat trick, and a save made by Jared Coro. Anderson to an open wing there to Nyquist as the Hawks in the midst of a change save and rebound. And Anderson just couldn't get there in time. And Ben Smith was there to get in front to take any puck out of harm's way. That's a quick pass to Beauty. Zetterberg in, catching up to it. And Keefe was trailing him, and one of the most elite skaters in the National Hockey League, Duncan Keefe, and Crawford helped it out with the stick down in the poke check fashion. Taves trying to get through. Kronwall had him tied up. Pavel Datsyuk with an outlet. Eriksson into the Hawk zone to Abdelkader. Drop back, Datsyuk in. His shot into the glove of Crawford.
Pavel taps him on the pads going by. It's an exhibition game, and it's 4-1 for the visitors. We'll be back. Oh, you wonder why these Europeans play so well together. Datsyuk in the middle, Zetterberg here Watch him pass the puck blindly over to number 40 up the middle, right on the tape. It just went off his stick a little bit, unfortunately. But boy, those two are magic together, and they'll be together most of this year, I'm sure. Special mention, Ron Hayes, part of our off-ice crew, tomorrow celebrating his 46th anniversary. To his wife, Mary, congratulations, you guys, 46 years. I said to Ron before the game, your wife looks awfully good for living with you for 46 years. Way to go, guys. Keep her going. Ron and Mary, tomorrow.
Edmonton got that draw back with some help from Riley Sheahan, so they'll do it again. Jared Coro, who had shoulder surgery in the offseason after playing for the Northern Michigan University Wildcats. And strange, he had left shoulder surgery catching hand Chris Watt.
He has to change the way he catches the puck after he had the surgery, which has taken a while. I watched him scouting him while he played for Northern Michigan. In the playoffs against Michigan, he was saw a ton of shots, played fabulous goal. Every now and then, though, a shot that normally a goalie would have over the glove was going in. Couldn't move it as well. Turned out he needed shoulder surgery. Had that, took a while to recover. He's such a hard worker, and he's so into being the best he can be, that he's actually changed the way he's caught pucks. He's a big guy, relies on his reflexes first, not his size, and he's aggressive, which is going to give him the best opportunity to make the NHL.
He was saying, too, that he didn't realize how far his hand was going back. He relied so much on his catching hand that when the puck came, his shoulder would spring back when he caught the puck and ultimately needed surgery on it.
Yeah, he said he had no strength and he didn't have the power to hold the pucks or hold that arm up long, especially with the velocity of the pucks were coming in. And he just struggled with that. So he did surgery right away after the season. And now he's a huge goalie with tons of potential. I don't call him a project because he's talented. To me, a project has no talent. He's a guy that he's going to start. I think he's going to have a very good year in Grand Rapids and be a guy down the line that could be standing right there in a regular season game.
So with that in mind, when a general manager says he's a project, really we just mean, in the words of Chris Osgood, you have no talent.
And there's no chance.
And there's no chance. Tipped by Hayes into the Red Wing end.
Rick, you never want to be labeled as a project.
No.
It's not good.
Olsen for Hayes. Mark Aubry went to hit Dylan Olsen. Played at the Red Wing line, but not in. Another attempt as Almquist goes back to his defense partner, Page, who's on an American League contract with the Griffins, is Nathan Page.
He's a great player down in Grand Rapids. With Coach Jeff Blashill, he's like a coach in a locker room with the young guys. He took a couple of the young guys under his wing, Tatar, Nyquist, taught them how to be pro players. He's a guy that's invaluable down there. When you talk to Coach Jeff Blashill, says he's one of the most important guys he has in coaching his players. And in the room, he's just an unbelievable person, great coach, and obviously a very good player on the ice.
Here's Anderson, up along with Tatar. Tatar's got it, Nyquist joining. Look back for Anderson, but good pressure by the Hawks coming back to break up that play. And Brent Seabrook has it for Chicago. There was a time in the playoffs when Brent Seabrook was in Bill Quenneville's doghouse for a little while, too. Didn't play very much in one of the games for the Wings as Tatar comes in. He managed to find his game. Taves. Marian Hossa, by the way, not in tonight, and he's been hurt for the Hawks. Patrick Kane, another Hawk missing. Patrick Sharp. As the Red Wings get it to center. Brought back in by Smith for Taves. Good pressure by Datsuk. And one of the leaders in takeaways took it away from the other one. Zetterberg turns at his own line. Datsuk tipped it through. In goes Applicator. Applicator getting that puck before Svedberg, in front by Datsuk to the line, and a shot. Ooh! Brendan Smith let it go, and that hurt Brandon Saad. Alexei Marchenko across Zetterberg to Smith, back to Zetterberg out of the air, corrals the puck. In front, tipped in front by Applicator. Allowed some face washing, even in preseason. As Saad heads off to the Hawk room after taking that shot. Right up in the glove. We're back in a moment.
Well, by September 30th, the Red Wings have to be down to a 23-man roster and under the cap the salary cap, that is, and long-term injuries may be a part of it. Right now, Patrick Eaves, injured in practice, 2 to 4 weeks, and Gustafson last night pulls a groin, and he's 2 to 4 weeks as I see it today. So long-term IR might be a part of that, because once a guy is long-term IR, he comes off both the 23-man roster and his salary's off the cap. So who knows whether they'll make a deal or not. The injuries might take care of that problem for Kenny Holland by themselves.
He was thinking when we were speaking to him up in Traverse City, let's see what transpires in the preseason, because you're right, injuries they're inevitable. And it frees up some folks, and maybe, who knows, as it going, Gustav Nyquist, who does not need waivers to go to Grand Rapids. He and Danny DeKeyser are the only ones. Everyone else would need, who are intended to stay.
Well, it's unfortunate, but Nyquist may go down to start the season just because they have to.
That's right.
Not because he's supposed to be.
Yep.
But they'd rather have him here, but because he doesn't have to be protected in the waiver draft, he's probably the odd man out, and that's just the way it goes sometimes with players and organizations. So, but he won't be down for long.
These things always have a funny way of working themselves out. And Kenny Holland's exactly right. You never know what's going to happen. Let's see how things shake out in training camp. And you can never have too many players or too much depth in this league with the amount of games and so little time with the Olympics this year. You're going to need every single one of these guys.
There's 17 forwards. Have to get down to the 14 they'll want to carry. We've got a penalty coming. A hooking call. Referee Brian Pakmara. So Jimmy Hayes goes to the box. Former second round pick of the Leafs. Acquired from Toronto for a second round. Got it into the midsection of Brendan Smith. So the Red Wings will go to a Bell Tire power play with 7:58 to go in the third, down by 3. Nyquist, Tatar, and Anderson. Almquist and Jonathan Eriksson. Adam Almquist, who has a good shot from back there. The 4-1 win against Pittsburgh. Almquist had a couple of power play tallies. Almquist stops in back of the goal. And lead the Red Wings to Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist trying to cut through. Play coming back by Dahlback. Don't allow him to get to the net. Ball back again. He'll try the other side. Almquist is there, able to settle that puck. Threw it into the opposite corner. Dahlback for Chicago. Tatar, good keep in along the wall. Almquist with a shot knocked down in front, and then that hit Nyquist on the way out. Nyquist had it come back to him to Almquist. Back for Gustav Nyquist, top of the right wing circle, scores!
Well, it appears to be tipped there, Mick.
Got some iron and it went into the net, that's for sure. I don't think Crawford saw it.
Nyquist takes a shot from the off wing here. I think Tatar might have got a stick in there, tipping her up top.
Yeah,
off
up
the
high.
post, and absolutely no chance for Crawford in this goal. Nice pass. Enables a quick snapper by Nyquist,
Yeah,
and a
there it
great
is, right
tip by
there.
Tatar.
Right in the middle.
A perfect tip, actually.
So Tatar with 2 goals tonight.
Continuing right where he left off in the American Hockey League playoffs.
He's a confident guy right now. It's a good thing to have.
We spoke with him in our second intermission. His 3rd preseason goal for Thomas Tatar. Which is why, for all those who are saying when the Red Wings signed Daniel Cleary, it's going to cost Tatar a spot. No, it's not, because he's not going anywhere. Cleary's going to be a valuable member of this team, too. That stick just shattered there on Ferraro. It blew on him, blew up on him. Crawford directs traffic, leaving it for Keith. You know, you're laughing at they don't make sticks like they used to. Here comes Eriksson moving in.
Spaghetti.
Ablocator. Oh, he went back perfect. Zetterberg just hit a skate before it got to him. As that puck is deflected out of play. 6:04 to go in the third, and Detroit within a couple, thanks to Thomas Tatar second from Nyquist and Almqvist. A couple of Swedes on the Tatar tally. The Slovakian.
It is amazing that the price of these sticks, at the rate they break. Must make Paul Boyer on the
Pretty
bench
good
there.
racket.
The equipment manager Paul Boyer cringe every time he sees that. The budget is expanding by the minute.
Yeah.
Zetterberg shooting, and Crawford through a crowd saw that. So we'll step out. There's Paul Boyer. And Thomas Tatar has 2.
Well, Red Wings haven't had much offense in the preseason outside of the game in Boston, but the other night they got shut out, last night actually. And tonight 2 by Thomas Tatar. We'll show you them both. First period, Nyquist from behind the net, bang bang play, no chance for Crawford there. And again, those 2 hook up right here. Almqvist, Nyquist, redirect Tatar, and 4-2. That's all the Red Wings have got on the offensive side of the puck tonight. That was a power play goal.
Yeah, those 2 appear to be picking up where they left off last year in Grand Rapids in the playoffs, and in a thrilling series against Syracuse where that combination was lethal for Grand Rapids. And once again here they're doing it again, but 2 good players, and hopefully they find their way this season, and it's beneficial for the Red Wings whenever you have 2 guys like that.
Datsuk finds the seam back here to Kronwall. A shot got blocked by Ben Smith. Jonathan Eriksson able to clear it away. Smith following up with Taves. And Zetterberg coming back on Smith, wouldn't let him through. Zetterberg trying to stay with Smith. Keith over to Seabrook. Back to Duncan Keith. Good hard pass. Brent Seabrook with a shot. And Coro came out on that. Jared Coro with a good save. And when he's on his knees, he's way taller than the crossbar.
That was a nice calm save by Jared. He's out of the net, like we said before, not relying on his size all the time. He's out of the blue, making himself bigger and bigger than he is. He's a guy, if he keeps playing like that, he's going to give himself a great opportunity to be successful, not only in the AHL, but in the NHL level.
Tatar in the air and just wide.
Almost got the curly fries for somebody. Oh, I never thought that would be in the second period the way it was going.
Long stretch pass that was just out of the reach of Garrett Ross. He's got a goal tonight, and this will be icing. Well, don't get shut out. Get a Red Wings 10 or 20 game plan for your ticket to the best matchups of the season, including original 6 rivalries. Go to DetroitRedWings.com for more information. Thomas Tatar with another opportunity.
Yeah, he and Nyquist again hooked up, and he batted that one out of mid-air, trying to get a one-hopper into the far side.
Brendan Smith on the backhand. Slithered one to the front of the goal, banging away. Maury Emerton got over out there along with Samuelson and Riley Sheahan. Alexei Marchenko moving up. Tip past Smith down the ice by Ross. Sheahan's first shot. In his final year at Notre Dame really picked up the offense for Riley Sheahan. A good year last year in Grand Rapids.
He's a very strong player, Ken. He's just got to find his way. He needs to play games. All he needs is some experience. He needs to play a lot of minutes, a lot of games. He's a good two-way forward, strong as a bull, and he has enough offensive talent that could make him successful one day here in the NHL.
Riley Sheahan was saying he was brainwashed by the Maple Leafs growing up in St. Catharines, Ontario, but Detroit was a close second as his favorite team. Rick Nash was his favorite player. Big body, maybe he'll be using his size like that one day. And Jared Coro will hang on to it. And speaking of favorite players, Jared Coro, he grew up a Senators fan near Ottawa, born in Perth, Ontario. Daniel Alfredson was his hero, and he said he has a stick that Daniel signed for him when he was 7 years old. Said he wants to bring it down here and have Daniel sign the other side for him. So pretty cool. Your hero is a 7-year-old growing up in Ottawa watching Daniel Alfredson, and now you get a chance to be in the same room.
How do you think that makes Alfredson feel?
Old.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's only 40. He's
only
young.
40. That's right.
Yeah,
he's a young guy.
Yeah.
And still productive.
Oh, yeah, and watching him skate in Traverse City, Chris. Boy, he was flying. Daniel was.
I haven't really heard when they're supposed to be in with him. He's got a little bit of injury problems as we get another face-off, but haven't really said it's just a day-to-day thing.
Seems to be at this point.
I'd like to think he'd be possibly in against Pittsburgh Wednesday night, but again, we're going into the last week of training camp, and that's when everybody gets serious, buckles down. You want your team ready to go. Veterans are sick and tired of training camp and want to get underway with the regular season.
Tatar is back out there with Nyquist and Anderson. Familiarity for these three as Jared Coro will hang on to it again. And you think that Tatar has 2 goals tonight. He doesn't waste any time. Only played 18 games last year with the Red Wings, scored 4 times, had 11 points, scored in his NHL debut. I don't know if you remember that night. It was against Dwayne Roloson, New Year's Eve of 2010. And Tatar tipped one in front and scored his first NHL goal in his NHL debut.
The thing about Tatar is he loves the spotlight. He doesn't shy away from it. He enjoys being the guy. And he enjoys when it's tied or you're down by one, the coach tap you on the shoulder and say, "Pats, go get me a goal." He wants to be that guy, and you always want guys like that on your bench waiting to get out there and get that for you.
And he's out there now as Anderson threw one toward the net. Luke Glendening for Tatar. Koska for Chicago, 2:50 to go. In period number 3, Red Wings pressing here to get within a goal. Detroit 2-2 in the preseason. Chicago 2-0-1. Crowd hasn't given up, still urging the Red Wings to get a little closer here. This will be icing, so the face-off will come back into the Chicago zone.
Here's Jared Coro, not relying on his big size like we said before. He's 6'6", imposing goaltender in there, but he's a athletic guy. Up and down, see, quick with the legs there. He's quick, athletic, doesn't rely on his size. Coming out, he's out of the blue, being big. That's what's going to make him a successful goalie in National Hockey League.
When you started, did you go down a lot in the butterfly, or were you more of a stand-up
Never.
goalie?
If you were to go down, the coaches were mad.
Yeah.
Your goaltending coach was mad.
How about, but at the end of your career, you basically changed your style.
If you weren't down, then you're in trouble. You need to learn how to push around on your knees and move around like these guys do now.
Was that a big adjustment for you to go from a stand-up goalie to a...
I compare it to like a golfer changing his golf swing. It took me a complete year after the lockout to stop thinking about it while I was on the ice. And actually, into the next season where I was actually just playing and I was just doing it. I was lots of work with goaltending coach Jim Bedard. And actually Jimmy Howard, who was already doing it, taught me on the ice. So you never know who you're going to learn these things from. I was supposed to be tutoring Jimmy Howard, and he was teaching me at the same time. So things have a funny way worked themselves out.
Now you had some hip flexor problems, didn't you? Because of that style?
At the end I did.
A lot of guys do.
My hips and my groin, it puts so much pressure on your hips and your groin, that type of style. But now these guys have different knee pads, different pads that really enable and protect their knees a lot better than what I have.
Net is empty here in an important draw. The Red Wings kept it in. Crawford couldn't play it outside the trapezoid. So 6 skaters for Detroit with Jared Coro on the bench. Tatar able to push one back to the line. Kronwall kept it in for Pavel Datsyuk. For Kronwall, Samuelsson this side has it. Zetterberg with it. Save made as Abdelkader went for it. And that timeout, by the way, was called by Chicago. Tatar able to put one back. Kronwall with his head up. Samuelsson, quick shot into the middle, but Michael Roosevelt was there to clear it back to center. Less than 2 to go, third period. Tatar chipped it ahead. Abdelkader back for Tatar. Tried the return pass, didn't work. Jonathan Toews for Chicago. Datsyuk able to kick it. Kronwall got it through to Abdelkader, now to Samuelsson. Shot to the goal was wide. A bouncing puck, Abdelkader able to knock it down. Seabrook took it out of the air. Samuelsson able to keep it in on the backhand. Then that hit Koska. And this will be icing. As again, the players no longer have to go back to touch if they get to the dot first. The defensive player, well, let's go back in history. And Chris Osgood, career win, number 400, 10th all-time.
Yeah, that was in Edmonton, my last game. Grew up watching
last
Oilers.
game 4-1 for you, Chris. Yep.
There's my father. It was exciting for me. No, I didn't know it was going to be my last game, but it turned out being perfect. Grew up watching the great Oiler teams, and for me to have my last game, it was great.
401 wins you finished with, 10th all time. And there won't be many, as you look at the list, who have a chance to pass you, my friend. Roberto Luongo might be closest, but after that, they got a ways to go to get there before they knock you out of the top 10. Here's Emerton for Nyquist. Less than a minute to go. In front of the goal off Anderson. Pinballing in there. Nyquist goes back to the line with it. Eriksson shot, scores! It's 4-3. 41 seconds left.
Well, Chicago lost the stick on this play, so it was really 6-on-4. And I don't think Crawford, Chris, had any chance to see this.
No, there's not a chance. This might have went through 4 or 5 guys for sure. If anything, if you want to nitpick, he might not have been far enough out. But at the same time, you're searching for it. Eriksson with a high velocity shot, a heavy shot through traffic. You count the guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Through 5 guys off Crawford's leg and in, giving the Red Wings an opportunity to come back here and tie the game and send us to overtime.
Well, wouldn't that be lovely?
Eriksson had a winner late last season against LA like that. Horo was heading to the bench again. Now he gets there, so the Red Wings with 6 skaters with 30 seconds left. Here's Pavel Datsyuk along with Zetterberg. Nyquist and Emerton assisting on the Eriksson tally. Here's Zetterberg. Had it blocked. Dozen seconds to go. The point shot knocked down. Able to keep it in was Tatar. Here's Kronwall. 5 seconds left. Tatar the shot. Loose in front of the goal. They bang away. Oh, what a save. As Zetterberg couldn't bury that as Crawford stopped it. Chicago wins it 4-3.
Well, they certainly held on there at the end for that.
Zetterberg with a smile on his face because it's an exhibition game. Like, oh my God, how could I miss that? But wow. That was quite the thing. They pulled the goaltender with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go and almost tied the game.
And like losing a stick, one of their guys got hit by the puck here, Mick, and more or less made it 6-on-4, causing a flurry in front. Zetterberg, just a great pad save here by Crawford. Kept it low, stayed strong.
Zetterberg too close to get it up, and there was a save right there he made on that redirection off the Datsyuk stick. So a mad scramble to end this one. And even in an exhibition season, everybody wants to win. So she finals up at 4-3, and Detroit with 33 shots to 24 to Chicago, but a scrambly, rambly kind of a game through the middle section with some excitement at the end.
Well, I want to thank Chris Osgood for joining Mickey and me up here in the booth. Great job, my friend.
Well, thank you. I would say a work in progress would be the perfect word for that.
That's all right, but the nice thing is you're not a project.
Not a project. Look at the peanut gallery.
Oh, there they go. Draper and Maltby right over our shoulders.
Way to go, Ozzy. Welcome to Fox Sports Detroit.
Yeah, Chris will never hear the end of it from those two.
Non-stop.
Oh, my goodness, it is non-stop. Good job. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you again Wednesday night on Fox Sports Detroit. Plus, when the Penguins come a-calling. The Hawks win tonight 4-3. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.